Well, how is everybody tonight? I feel like I'm warming the crowd.
Woo, woo. Okay, we're good. We need a knock joke or something to get everybody going. It's Monday night.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm ready.
Well, that's our last focus group call. So the next time that you're on a focus group call, it'll be with your team. So that's exciting.
Who all is who? I mean, everybody on here. No pressure, but everybody on here should be hosting their own focus group next month. So is everybody up for it? You got people you're having joined, or you
Teaming up with somebody, if you got one or two, not skimping out.
Not wimping out, not even skimping. You're not wimping out. You're hosting a focus group with somebody else if you don't have anybody your own self. How?
Thumbs up, anything?
Well, I have a question. I know I've been struggling with my requirements. You guys said something today, like they need to be done with the 21 days to Emerald internship. First, because I have 3 really great new coaches that are like all in, but they're either just now entering that 21-day group or haven't started it yet. So my other one, Hannah, is in this group. So I don't have anyone else. So what do I do?
What we have been talking about doing is still like a modified focus group. So what you would do is they would go through the internship, which it starts like the same day. Like the group opens the 6th, and then they would start the training on the 7th. And then instead of having them in a focus group, it might be like a message thread. And like those 3 coaches, y'all jump on a Zoom call on Monday nights or Tuesday nights, whatever you decide, because I know we have the team call. And so just whatever you decide, but like a call one-on-one or with the small group, like, 3 or 4 people. That way you could kind of go over like, hey, what did you struggle with this week? What did you learn this week? What's a goal that you want to set for next week, and kind of walk them through. And then the following month, they'll have coaches going through the internship, and you'll be able to take them through like their focus group, like through the calendar and all that.
Okay, thank you.
I think the good thing about that is it's also setting you up in a pattern already. Like if you go ahead and set up this system, you won't have a month to, I know with me, if I have a month to wait before I start something, I can find every excuse possible to keep delaying. Not that I'm scared to, it's just, oh, well, I don't have enough or whatever. If I go ahead and start the pattern, then, the routine's already in place. Even though it is an adjustment.
Whoops, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, even though it is not exactly like what we want right now, it's a process getting there.
Yeah. And it'll teach your coaches, because I think the biggest thing that we're hoping to accomplish with the focus group is that it's a duplicatable process. So if you are getting on, a one-on-one call or, 3-on-1 Zoom call with them, that's going to teach them like, hey, I need to be doing this for anyone else I know. And maybe they start off like inviting them to yours, and then, they gradually get to that one-on-one. But that should be something that they start duplicating.
I agree.
So, any other questions about your requirements or hosting your own focus group?
Okay, well, y'all made it to the very last focus group call, so
yay! So this week we're going to be talking about, like, up until this point, this training has not been advanced, because I know a lot of y'all were like, well, my coaches just finished the 21-day internship, and are they going to be ready? And like, this is designed for them. I know we have some amazing, coaches that are diamond, like in this group, but it was merely just to see how it worked. The focus group template is designed for someone that's just finished the 21 days internship, and they're needing that next step. What does month 2 look like for that coach? And so that's who we set this training up for. And then this last week is your only advanced training, because we were hoping to teach them all they need. And then this last week they were about to enter is going to be like your fly, you have your wings, fly off, do your thing, leadership skills, and teaching you how to create diamonds in your team. What in the world?
Oh, I thought that was Jake. Sorry.
No.
The next little note I have is finding those coaches on your team that want it and are working one-on-one weekly. I think Kaylee mentioned that earlier, answering Laura's question about even if you don't have a focus group like right now immediately, find those coaches on your team that you can be working with one-on-one.
Y'all recording it?
I'll mute as you talk, so go ahead. Oh, I muted her. Poot. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I was trying to mute whoever was talking.
That's okay.
Not you, though.
That's all right. So in order to find those coaches that you want to work with one-on-one weekly, Kaylee and I look at it not just, oh, I've got a coach. They have to be somebody that's been putting in the work. Because if they're not, and I don't mean that ugly, like you have to know that they're going to put forth the effort. Because we have made those commitments where we've booked a time and either one, they forgot about their appointment, or two, they got to their appointed time that we're supposed to work with them one-on-one, but they hadn't even met the minimum requirements for that call. Say we'd ask them to add 3 to 5 people daily, or we'd ask them to host a challenge group, or to at least present the business. And then when we met with them one-on-one, they're like, one excuse after the other. And this is not any judgment whatsoever. All right. Because life does happen. So you have to find those coaches that have the time to work the business currently. You know, there's some coaches that sign up and have every intention of working the business right now in this moment, but then something happens. You know, a kid breaks their leg or something. I don't mean that horrible, but you know, something happens. And so even though they committed when they signed up, life happens. So you'll just have to tell them, don't worry about it. We'll get back to you. We'll offer this again next month. You know, when life is more in a routine for you. So when you're looking for those coaches to work with one-on-one, find your own requirements. Kaylee and I make it that we've noticed that they're working the business. They're posting consistently. They're reaching out consistently. They're commenting consistently. They're making Success Club, or they're at least putting points on the board. Mm-hmm. So think about all of these things, because it is going to be time that you have to invest. So make them earn that time.
And it's not about recreating the training for them. Like when you get on your one-on-one calls, which I know a few of y'all have done one-on-ones with us, but I mean, it's not a, like you whine for a minute and then we pep you up. It's not a pep talk and it's not a training. It's like, hey, how did this go? Last week you said you were going to get a coach and a challenge pack, and that could be with one person, like a coach signing up with a challenge pack. How did that go? And then you tell us a little bit about that coach that you just signed up, or what happened in it, you know, like what are you going to do differently? And then if they keep on not hitting that goal of a coach and a challenge pack or whatever you set, it's like, all right, well, just message me when you hit it and we'll jump on the phone, you know, give me a couple days to plan it out to be able to schedule it in. But like, just message me when you hit that goal. It shouldn't be about the training. It's purely just that relationship and making sure that they are staying on track with whatever it is they want to accomplish.
Y'all may have answered this, but is 3 people worth opening a whole group for a focus group?
I think so. Ours are going to be like no more than 10 people. So if you had somebody you wanted to pair up with and, you know, keep it to that 10, then you could, but I would think 3 would be like
I try and do that just because March is obviously going to be a crazy month for me, so I may try and group up for a few of my groups for March. But yeah,
I think 3 is fine, but I think pairing up with somebody in your case is very smart.
yeah.
All right. So, did y'all have any questions about like making those one-on-one calls and finding the coaches on your team that are really going for it?
Okay, well, our next point is that, like, for your team and for you, recruiting has to be a no excuse zone, which a lot of you like don't have any excuses anyways, and that's why you made it to this focus group. But if it's somewhere that, like, you know, you're like, well, this is so hard or it's so scary, like, try not to pass that along to your coaches, which I think when we first started, that was part of our problem. Like, we weren't showing people like, hey, we're, inviting like crazy and we're confident about it. And I think that's why we didn't really grow until a few months in, when we were just like, screw it, we have to make this work. Like, we can't keep teaching. So make sure that you're showing, like, not only for you, you're recruiting, but also that you're showing your team, like, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. And if it is a struggle, find ways to get better at it. For us, we went through Danny Johnson's 6 months to 6 figures, and that really helped us. Shalene Johnson's Car Smart is really good, and it helped us get through it. But recruiting has to be something that you're doing every single month. It's going to change more people's lives because it's all going to trickle down. And we aim for 5 to 8 a month. And that way, you have enough people to work with. Like, we've mentioned before, it's a numbers game. So making sure that you recruit 5 to 8 is always going to give you at least 1 or 2 that you can really work with and, get into your focus groups and all of that. So I just wanted to touch on recruiting. I know we had our sneak peek coming up. And then after you finish this focus group, you really have all the training that you need, to host your own if you want. Like, don't feel like we're kicking you out or anything, but you have it. Like, you can do a better one than us. Like, just, challenge yourself, because you could definitely host your own coaching event or a sneak peek if you wanted, if you haven't already.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably going to be scary because it was for us. But if you will go ahead and take the step and host your own focus group, or do like the message thread, you don't have enough for focus group yet, but you will next month. You just taking that step is going to solidify in your own brain, if nothing else, that you are a leader. You aren't dependent on Kaylee and me anymore. You can do this. And once you start taking more steps like that, the better leader you become, the better person that you're going to start seeing in your come towards you, that are attract, I guess is the right word. So just something small. Hosting your own focus group is tiny. So y'all can do that. You've got everything at your fingertips. So do it. And the other thing I was going to say before Kaylee moves on to the next point, to talk about the recruiting is a no excuse zone. This is something that we've heard many, many times. So I just want you to know, like, if you have I'm working with somebody right now. I'm waiting to hear from them this weekend. I've got them on the line. I'm just waiting to hear. That is wonderful. I would give you a hug and a pat on the back, a big old squeeze. But you can't just depend on that one person, okay? You have to move on and have 2 people lined up, or one person this weekend, one person Monday, one person Tuesday. You can't. I see that happen a whole bunch. A lot of people are just waiting on that one person. That's cool, but you got to keep on adding to the lineup, okay?
Yes, that would slow me down so much, because like I would depend on that one person, and then I wouldn't work to get other people, and then that one person would fall through, and I just wasted a whole week of not recruiting.
Yeah. Constantly have to be adding to that lineup, guys.
It makes a huge difference. I was just looking to see how many we had in our lineup right now, like in Asana. And just between now and Friday, we have 10 people that we need to follow up with to say, like, hey, you expressed some interest in this. Is that something that you wanted to do? Which, that's not even counting our sneak peekers. That's only counting like people that we've just been privately talking to. And of course, it is the end of the month, so we have a few more than normal, but it makes a big difference just to have them kind of lined up.
Yeah, and it helps the ego too, because what if the one on the weekend that you're counting on falls through? And then, but you have somebody else on the line that you've been talking to. So it doesn't hurt as much when the one you've been just putting all, your eggs in that one basket, when it falls apart, it doesn't hurt as badly. So.
And I think like how you talk to someone changes too, because I know like when we were like, all right, well, I got this one person that like really, like I really need them to sign up, like, and I only got this one person in my lineup. Like I felt like I had to like cradle them, and they were like my little precious egg or something. And then I'm like, oh crap, if you don't want it, then that's fine. I got 10 more people that, could make this work for them. And so it kind of gives you that confidence. And I think that makes a big difference in how many people you're talking to. Because if you're confident, talking to another person is not going to kill you that day. And like, you'll be able to go from 3 to 5 to 5 to 7.
Yeah. And you start getting better quality coaches. Once again, y'all know I don't mean that ugly, but if you're desperate, you're gonna be desperate. You're gonna take whoever will. Oh man, if I just give them a, what can I give them to get them to sign up? And you're getting somebody who, in most cases, wants something for nothing, so they're not going to be willing to work the business. And y'all know how hard it is. So just keep on. Don't get to that desperate like Kaylee and I did. So it ain't worth it. They're all gone, y'all. They didn't help us get to where we are.
No, and they also take up so much time and so much mental power that, it's just draining for the rest of your team because you aren't able to commit to them. You're working with the squeaky wheel. So that's hard. The last little part that we wanted to share on our last focus group call was just that, to reiterate, y'all have everything that you need now. There's nothing different between you and a 5-star, 10-star, or 15-star. You might go through a training and be like, oh, well, Mindy's doing this awesome training. There's this elite training, whatever. Kim and Kaylee are offering volume training. I'm going to go through it. But you're probably only going to get a nugget here, a nugget there now because you know so much. It's just going to take tweaking it and, maybe doing those groups for accountability and having that energy. But really, it's going to be an inside out kind of game. You're going to have to, dig deep and you're going to have to take everything that you've done so far and instill it in your coaches so they can figure out hey, this is how I do it. And they'll get to where you are right now. And that's how you're going to see your business really grow. Do you agree, Mom?
Totally agree. You have to work on your personal development versus, and I'm not saying to ignore trainings. No. I know some coaches put off doing the inevitable because they've got to do one more training, and you just get bombarded with trainings. You get involved in one group and then involved in another or multiple groups at one time, and you're just you're not eating your frog.
Yeah.
So you got to work on your personal development now because y'all have the basics, guys. You even have the advanced basic part. So you're ready to go. You're ready to fly, be the leader we've trained y'all to be, and don't miss out on some of the great trainings, but don't let the trainings be a way to avoid working.
Right.
Work on your personal development each and every day. That's what I have to say, kiddo.
Oh, I totally agree. And like she said, eat your frog, doing the things that are most important, like your power hour. The other thing I had written down was be consistent, which I think that's why, every time we plug into a training and, have that, that's why we invented the focus group, to give somebody something to plug into their second month of coaching. Because the more you're plugged in, the more consistent, you usually are. And so I think that's why some of the trainings are so successful. It's just about being consistent versus, maybe who's talking. So consistency is really what makes a huge difference. And then, like she said, working on your personal development, because if you aren't improving yourself, you can't really improve others. And our last note, I know we're going to sound like a broken record, but recruiting others and coaching them more is going to help because you're going to have a whole bunch of people coming in. And as you have 5 to 8 coaches coming in every month, you're not going to be able to mentor them all. You're going to get to a certain point where, you are excited for every time someone signs up to coach. But we've had 3 people sign up this week, and I can tell you their names. And I can tell you a little bit about what we talked about, but their about forms are just kind of fuzzy. I'm going to have to go back and look at them. And they're going to have to show me they're willing to meet halfway in order for me to learn all of that stuff about them and to really mentor them. So make sure that you go ahead and set expectations now of what you expect your coaches to do in order to get your attention. So that was my other little piece. So coach all and then pick out the few that are really working to mentor and invest in.
I agree. I was going to say, even Melissa McAllister says the same thing. We're involved in an elite training right now with a group of 10 superstar coaches, and Melissa does a thing on coaching and mentorship. You want to coach or teach your new coaches, and you want to continue to coach your team. New things you learn, you want to teach them. But you have to be selective on who you mentor, who is working with you and meeting you halfway. We have several teachers in the group, so you know the difference. Coaching is teaching, mentoring is working with them and helping them tweak. and encouraging them, pointing them in the right direction versus here it is. And I would say everybody in this group is to the point where we mentor instead of go, this is what you do.
Right. Because y'all work your butts off and you're awesome.
So that was it, guys. I hope y'all liked the focus group. I know several of you, because we have several diamonds in here, you were involved in different groups and your own challenge groups. And I know that it was kind of overwhelming to start with. So I'm glad y'all hung in there so you know how to host your own. Mm-hmm. And we just really appreciate y'all sticking with us and, passing it along to your teams. Because I really think if you learn how to pass along the system and then teach your team to pass it along, we'll all grow as a team. So, all right. Mm-hmm. All right, any questions? It's y'all's turn. We have 10 minutes. Jennifer's talking about her husband's trying to recruit somebody at the gym. Been talking to her for a month. I say it's time she either pees or gets off the pot. Mm-hmm. I mean, that might be a little crude, but come on, either do it or no. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Wendy. Mm-hmm. We are glad to have you, and I'm glad you developed some more confidence. Just do it. You got it, girl. You got it. You've had it. You just had to believe you had it, but you've had it for a long time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anything that y'all plan on changing in your groups? We talked about customizing, and I know the one-on-one calls would be a little bit more different, but anything else that you're planning on changing up?
Y'all can unmute yourselves now instead of typing. It's too hard for me to read everybody's type.
If you aren't sure, I can unmute everybody, but I kind of feel bad unmuting everybody. What if somebody doesn't want to be unmuted?
Well, they don't have to talk. They can mute themselves.
That's true. All right. You're all unmuted. I get it.
Okay.
Really only have 3 working coaches, so with 3 people, like Margot said, would that be enough? If I maybe co-hosted with Teresa, if I did a smaller group, whatever amount of people she has and whatever amount of people I have, maybe 3 to 6 people or 3 to 5.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect. Just less than 10 is what we've been aiming for.
Yeah, no problem for me. Yeah, my thing is I feel like I'm struggling sometimes to actually get them to want to work the business. And I already know either they want to work it or they don't. I feel like I just signed up Mary Kay this weekend, and she's already inviting to her free clean eating challenge group. She's already, I'm not sure if she sold the challenge pack already, but she was telling me, she's I'm already talking to people about Shakeology and blah, blah, blah. So I think you have to be driven, it has to come from within. You can't force it on people. Because I have I think 10 coaches, and only half of them are working it here and there, which is kind of frustrating.
Oh, honey, you are preaching to the choir. I don't remember how many we signed up last year, but I would say at least 200, and we have about 10% really working. And same thing with diamonds. If you look at Mindy's team or our team, we have 2,000 people, and we have about 20 diamonds. So it's always a numbers game like that.
Yeah. So you have to keep inviting. You have to, because today, to be honest with you, I felt I was I'm the one, I said, I'm the one stopping myself from inviting people. I was oh, I already invited people last week to my sneak peek, and I already have 3 potential people. Do I keep on inviting? But I'm I don't want to, my fear was oh, I don't want people unfollowing me, or I don't want people unfriending me. But the way I see it now, it's either they are your real friends, or you're eventually going to sell them something, or you're not. So I'm screw it. I actually had someone I met up with someone last week, and they asked me for a free sample, and I just noticed that she freaking unfriended me, and I was oh my God, can you believe that? So obviously she just used me for, I felt used at, she just used me for a free sample. Mm-hmm. And then I was but I'm you know what, it's okay. I don't need people like that in my life. If she's obviously not willing to invest in herself. She just, who knows who else she's doing this to.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. You gotta work with the willing.
Exactly. So whatever. So I was telling Teresa on my way here, I was I couldn't believe that happened to me. But she's you have other people that want to work the business, and just work with what you have. You know, like you said, keep inviting, and that's it. That's all you can do.
Yep.
And I'm finding the longer you do it, the better quality you get of people who want to be on your team. Like the longer you just stick with coaching, the more quality. And I don't know if you get better quality or if you just get pickier with who you're asking. I don't know. It could be I just am more picky about who I ask. I'm not as desperate to like grab coaches in. So it could be either one, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's a mix of both.
I totally agree. I was thinking while Iris was talking, like when we very first started coaching, you know, it was like we were giving samples away, and we finally, you know, had learned, because we got screwed over like that a few times. I was like, well, if you want a sample, you're gonna have to sign up as a free client, and we lost several people that way. But I'm like, you know what? If you want it bad enough, if you would sign up for a free pizza at Pizza Hut, you can sign up as a client, and I'll give you a free sample. So yeah, you learn to be pickier. But like if you look at this group,
yourself.
yeah, you learn the values.
Like, crap, I'm not gonna go 90 if you're gonna give me 10 and then whine about it.
I think that is something.
The crazy thing is that this girl, like, supposedly needs to be able to do push-ups for some type of training. I guess she's trying to join, like, I don't know if she wants to be a cop or something. So she seemed really serious, and like she needed my help, like, so she could do push-ups. And I was like, okay. And like I was thinking like 22 hardcore would be a good one for her, maybe P90X, something like that. But I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe, like, oh, whatever. Like, whatever. I'm moving on.
There's a long backstory, but I actually like turned away a coach this week, and Kim and Kaylee know, but if you would have told me a year ago I would turn away somebody to join my team, I would have laughed at you. Like, I would have been like, no way. Like, I wouldn't want anybody who wants to be on my team. But like Kaylee and Kim said, you learn to value yourself. And like, I knew that would suck my time and everything. So even though she was so excited and wanted to work and blah, 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 you kind of just have to know who you want your tribe to be and who you want to surround yourself with. So like they said, you just learn to value yourself.
I totally agree with what Margot said. And I think for some of you, that just comes natural. You know your value instantly. That's just your personality. You are very confident from the get-go. For some of us, though, when we sign up to coach, it was just like, oh my gosh, what are people going to think? You know, are they going to want to join my team? We totally, when we sign up, we forget that we have value to offer people. That's why we signed up, because people were always asking us, well, can you tell me what I should be eating? What workout should I be doing? We forgot that we were offering value as soon as we signed up. And so that's where I had to kick in with my personal development and get my confidence back. And that's when you really start to know who you want on your team and in your tribe, as Margot said.
I think it gets much easier to tell. Too, the longer you do this and the more people you talk to, when you have those conversations through private message or on the phone or through email, you get a feeling for who they are. And then the more people you do this with, the easier it gets to judge and discern who is going to be part of your tribe. Definitely. I skip a lot of people that like my page because they're not my people.
I agree.
That's true. Like, if you wouldn't have coffee with that person, why would you know what I mean? Like, want them on your team.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Would we be friends? That's, you know, my free group, we're all like this little family, and I need people that want to be like real with me and my family. They need to be like excited and want to be in this, you know, and see the benefit of it more than just the workouts and the shake. You know, that they create a life. They have to have a mindset. It gets easier, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you go to Summit, I know, I hope like we get to meet everybody, but the girls on here, I see their faces. When we got to meet so many people at Summit, it wasn't, oh my gosh, really? We have to meet that one? Yeah. I mean, everybody we got to meet, it was just like a old friends. I hope everybody. If y'all didn't think the same thing,
Just don't tell them. You got a T-shirt out of it, so.
so it was pretty. I mean, you want your tribe to be like that. So when you meet them in person, it's just like family, big hugs. So
Yeah.
and that was how it was. With us. Hey.
Does anybody else want to add anything before we log off? I know it's after 7:30 now, so.
Yeah, I got my talking britches on. Sorry.
But no, I think it's been good.
Yeah, I'm gonna invite you your sneak peek like right now after our call. I'm not gonna let people bring me down, whatever, you know.
No.
Join me, they'll join me.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Go invite.
Go invite. And we still have a focus group. Like we'll have daily posts through this week. And then the 6th is when everybody else's will open, however you want to set yours up. So.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
All right, y'all too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.